So the biggest mistake that people make with meditation is actively trying to silence your mind all the time. And I'm going to talk about why. And I want to talk about quickly how I discovered meditation and what it's done for me over the years. In 2007 or 2008, I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And at the time, I was going through a very, let's say, depressed state. I wasn't depressed, clinically depressed or anything, but I was down. I'd just come out of university. I didn't really have many friends left. That social side had gone. I was into a full-time job. And suddenly life started seeming heavy. And a friend of mine said, read this, it will help you with anxiety. I read about 2 pages and was like, this is crazy, I'm not reading this. Then things got so bad, I just couldn't really, I started getting a bit hopeless. This book seemed to sort of shine out from the side of my where it was placed on my side in my bedroom. It'd been there for a month or so, just left. And I think this is quite common with that book. Anyway, this video isn't about The Power of Now. The Power of Now is a good first step, but I want to talk about how to develop this. So that was the problem. So it gave me, that book taught me about my thoughts. It taught me that I am not my thoughts, which is wrong, I'm going to get into. But it taught me I'm not my thoughts, and it taught me to observe my thoughts. And then I had my first moment of clear mind. I realized that there are gaps in your thoughts. I almost took a step back, as it were, and had this sense of peace. Oh, crap. I had this sense of peace where I realised I was the observer of my thoughts, and it lasted for about 2 months where I was in this really zen-like state, something I'd never experienced before. I'd always been dominated by my thoughts. I'd always been over random. I was unconscious, shall we say, and I guess that was kind of the first time I kind of woke up to realise that I'm not my thoughts. Cut to maybe 4 or 5 years later, I read Letting Go by David Hawkins. So I'd always been meditating, trying to get present, had some success, and this is the issue with meditation. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. You go in and out. You go in and out of this beautiful state, and you're always chasing it. And then I read Letting Go by David Hawkins, and in that book, it taught me about guilt and shame, and it can be something that you're holding on to. Holding on to shame, holding on to guilt, and I didn't realise that I was. It was almost like I'd let go of this heavy backpack that I'd been carrying all my life. And again, I had this month where I was light, and I was feeling amazing, and I felt, wow, this is the answer, this is the key. How did I not know about this? And then once again, I was making the same mistake that I think all meditators make. I started trying to just get back to that feeling. And I was doing whatever it took, meditating, trying to, let go, do these specific letting go meditations. And the video could be called The Problem with Letting Go, or The Problem with the Power of Now. But I thought I'd keep it, general and talk about meditation, because I think this is the big mistake that many people make. And I've been doing this for 12 years. And it wasn't until now that I've discovered that everybody's making this one mistake. So let me just talk about it. And I'm going to try my best. I don't want to edit this video. I don't want to keep retaking it. I'm just going to say what I need to say. So there is the self, right? This is what I discovered through meditation. There is a self, and you're trying to access the self. The self is calm. The self doesn't need anything. It's your loving state. It's your alpha state. It's whatever that is, that God essence, that whatever you were given in conception of your consciousness. It's that calm, present state. It's all loving. It's all knowing, seeing, whatever, and it's attracting. And you've felt that maybe. You've been in that zone if you're into meditation, and that's what meditators trying to chase. But by the very act of meditating and chasing it, you're pushing it away. Okay, that's the first thing. That's the first problem. It's not the big problem. The second problem is ego. And where most meditation comes from, Buddhism or these, spiritual gurus, a lot of them all say the same thing. Ego is bad, and they demonize ego. So that's another. Eckhart Tolle demonizes ego. David Hawkins demonizes ego. So you're almost shaming yourself for having thoughts when you're present. And yeah, I get it. When you're a more experienced meditator, you can just watch the thoughts. And it does get better, it does get easier. But then there is also this level of stress, because you know how good you can feel from meditation, but you don't always get there. And then you become unconscious again. And then because you're unconscious, then you shame yourself, you beat yourself up. So what happens is you create this split. It's almost like you create this spiritual critic. You create this spiritual guy inside your head, like, you should be more spiritual, you know how to meditate, you've experienced these very out of worldly, enlightened states, which is so addictive. And it's almost why this is dangerous, right? This is what I want to talk about. So the problem is, what you're not understanding in this state is that your thoughts are trying to tell you something. You can talk back to your thoughts. You can have a conversation with your head. The book that changed it all for me, and I read this 6 weeks ago, and it's been unbelievable since. It's almost been like a miracle. The book that changed everything for me is called No Bad Parts by Richard Schwartz. Now, he says mindfulness is a good first step. So I'm not completely throwing meditation out. This is a good thing to have. It's good to be mindful, but you can't demonize ego. Ego, or what we see as ego, what we all think of as ego, this self-image, these voices in our head, they are you. They are parts of you, and they have a message, and that's the point he makes in No Bad Parts. All of these parts serve the purpose, and they get blended with fear. They get blended with criticism. It could be your parents telling you weren't good enough, you need to do better, whatever it is, and it's all to protect. They all served a purpose in the past, and now they are the predominant thought. So you're not going to get rid of those. The key, instead of trying to get rid of them through meditation, is to observe them and be curious about them and talk to them as if they are people. Crazy as it sounds, but I promise you, the real self is underneath, and those voices, those people, those parts, those personalities inside you, they are there because they're trying to protect the real you, which got hurt. And they're saying basically, we don't trust the real self. We don't trust the real you. We need to do this job. We need to motivate you. We need to shame you. We need to tell you to go for it. We need to tell you that you messed up. That's why they're so hard on you. So what you need to do, don't talk to the vulnerable part. Okay, don't do that. That's the exiled part. That's the vulnerable you. You don't need to talk to that part. Just leave that part alone, and I'll just explain why in another video. Talk to the critic and say, look, the real self's got it. Can you just, for a little bit of time, is it okay if the real self takes over? We got this. I got this. You don't need to be hard on me anymore. We just work better when you're not in my ear criticizing, going pushing me. When I'm present, when I am the real self, things just go better. Okay, look, you don't have to, and the key is compassion for those parts. And it's almost like they relax, and you'll feel lighter, you'll feel better, and you'll get to that ultimate state that you're trying to get to in meditation. And this is called internal, the model put forward about this is by Richard Schwartz, internal family systems. And this has been a miracle for me. In the last 6 or 7 weeks, I've just got my life back in the right direction again. I'm making videos like this. I feel clear. I feel full of energy. I've been working all day. I've gone back to how I was. Somehow that critic just wore me out. It made me so tired because it was constantly working. The real self doesn't get tired. You'll notice this. The real self, it doesn't need anything. It's in there and it's always on. It's like the sun. It's always shining, and it just gets cloudy. So you think it's not there, but it's always there. That essence of you, that real you, is always behind that, and you have moments of that. The beautiful thing is, it changes everything. It changes your relationship with yourself not only, but it changes the relationship with other people. People notice. People start being open to you. You feel open to other people. I've been having so many new conversations, meeting loads of new people. I've started my video blog again. I've started my new courses again. I've just been so productive. Back to the gym. It's amazing. So I don't want to overblow this. I want you to check it out. Read everything, watch everything by Richard Schwartz. So it's been life-changing. And look, I'm going to come back to this more and more. And this channel is probably going to be devoted to this now. I'm not going all in on it, because then that's also the ego, right? That's the protector part. This then becomes my protection, just doing IFS, doing that course or whatever it is, that, buying into his method. You still got to take a step back, but the real self is there, and that's the point of this video, to make you realize that trying to get there isn't going to work. Stop fighting these parts of you. Stop fighting with them. You've got to have compassion for them, and they will relax. They will. You just say, and watch all the videos that Richard Schwartz talks about this, because you'll get a better understanding than I can give you. I can't articulate it that well here. But if you've been following my channel for a long time, you are watching my videos, and you are a good little subscriber, and you're watching my videos, and somehow you've got some kind of trust in some guy that has very little views and subscribers. I promise you, This is it. This is what you've been looking for to a high extent. It's not everything you've been looking for, but it will reveal that. And I can't just swear, I can't talk enough about it. It's just been amazing. So any questions, please put in the comments. Obviously, like, subscribe, that'd be really good. It will encourage me to make more videos like this. Or it won't, I'll just keep making videos anyway if no one watches it. I'm sure eventually people will catch on to this. But I just want to spread these messages. I want to spread things that have helped me, really. The last 4 or 5 months have been, before I discovered that, were pretty difficult. I was pretty down. My money situation was not good. I'd kind of stopped boxing. Things weren't going very well, let's just say, and I was on a bit of a downward spiral. And it was like, there's something else, there's something I'm missing. What is it? And it was because I was being hard on myself, and that led me to understand what IFS is. But it was unbelievable. It was almost like he joined all of the dots. And he spoke firstly about mindfulness. And like I said, look, the title of this video is The Problem with Meditation. I was just trying to meditate my way out of everything. Just be present, and it doesn't work. Being present's important, but you need more than that. You need to understand these parts of you. They have a message. They are parts. They are stuck in these roles to protect you. And they're dictating your life. They are causing a lot of trouble in most parts. But you don't need them. You need the parts, but you don't need them to be in those roles. You can trust yourself. Trust yourself. The big self. Capital S self. That's the point. You are trusting that real part of you. Not these parts. They are you. They're not bad either. These parts that are locked into these roles. And they change. They change their roles. They can work for you. Soon you realize that your inner critic can work with you. It doesn't berate you all the time. Almost just relaxes. It's like, yeah, go for it, Joe. We got this. It's amazing, man. Like, I don't know what else to say. Rambled a little bit. I'm very excited. But, okay, I hope that helps. Message me. Like I said, one more time. Subscribe or like this video. I know I've done that. But subscribe or like and comment this video if you want to hear more about this. Yeah, that's it. Bye-bye.